Go.
Right now, the thing is, I should be starting my show right now. If you've just tuned in, you're listening to Alan Robson on the Nightowls programme, Metro Radio and across the world on the web. We should be going into calls round about now. Why is that not happening? Well, it's simple actually, because I've had an alert that gorgeous semi-naked women and a pole have been delivered to Metro. Now I know you can get pizzas delivered, but this is outrageous and I'm so pleased because one of the girls I'm going to meet, A, is a pagan, hurrah! B, is also a hot and heavy rock fan, and C, is gorgeous and halfway up pole.
And trying to steal desperately.
Now you have attached this massive pole, it's going to be about, I'm guessing, 9-10 feet tall, and you're clinging onto it now.
Yeah.
This is Gail. Now you might remember Gail. Gail ran the programme to talk about alopecia. Now there's no way in the world that anybody would ever know, looking at you, that that was not your hair. Whoever designed that wig is a genius.
Certainly are. Ramsey and Johnson, absolute geniuses, what can I say? We've got a great colourist, Angie. This particular one, I walked into the salon one day, saw it sitting there and thought, I've got to have it. It's too funky, so I walked out with it that day.
Funny thing is, she said that she had to have it. I walked around the corner, I saw you up the pole, and I thought, I have to have it. I have to have it. I want that one. Of course, because the good thing about the pole is anybody can exercise on it, and it's good for them.
Yeah.
Now, people instantly think it's associated with all matters of sexiness and people chucking a £5 note in your pants.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be though.
No, it doesn't have to be. I mean, we do it for health and fitness purposes, and it's recreational. We run competitions with other pole dance clubs, so we just have a lot of fun and get fit at the same time.
Right, now you've brought some people with you. Who are these folk?
These folk are our instructors in Northern Pole Dance, and they're far more advanced than what I am, and they're probably going to show you a few more moves.
Well, now, first of all, I have to say this one, because your sister's actually the great queen of all matters, isn't she? She's the boss.
She's in labour.
She's in labour. I hasten to add, this has nothing to do with me whatsoever. She's in labour, and tonight's the night she's going to pop, probably.
Tomorrow, I think. If she hasn't gone tonight, then they're going to induce
it. Yeah. You do realise, though, that if she's in hospital and listening to this, the way we're talking about it may just bring that baby a day early.
I think she's sitting at home watching it actually.
Is that all? Fantastic. Right, okay, so who are these other people? Introduce me.
This is Kelly, who is like the other instructor.
Okay, so how do you become an instructor in a pony dancing thing then?
Well, I first started off doing lessons in Newcastle, taking myself,
Yeah.
and then Amy ran an advert in the Hexham Current, and I got in touch with her to see if she was doing advanced classes later on at Hexham.
Right.
And I told her what I'd done, and she said straight away, do you want a job? So it's just gone from there.
Wow, because just where would you go to get somebody who's a pole dancing instructor? I've just never come across it. How did you get involved with it then?
I got involved by following an advert off the internet, to be honest. I saw
it wasn't on one of those sites, was it?
Oh no, nothing like that. It was just for pole dance instructors, for girls only, keep fit classes.
Right.
Come along, have a bit of fun. So I phoned up, and I've been an instructor for about a year and a half now.
Now, speaking on behalf of the testicle majority, I think you find, as soon as you mention pole dance, your head goes to a bad place. Can men do this, or is this particularly for women?
Yeah, I don't see why guys can't do it, to be honest.
Haven't we got stuff that would get in the way?
No, I've had a man actually do a class before.
Really?
Yes, and he was fine.
Where did he took it?
I don't really want to know.
No, it's fair enough. Well, that's okay.
He was wearing a tutu at the time as well.
Give over.
No, I'm serious.
Oh my goodness. That's not compulsory for a man.
No,
that's not.
It's not. He did have shorts on as well.
Yeah, well, you would need that at least. Because smeary poles,
not good.
Not good at all. So, now, Gail, because this was... this is the bad thing. Dare I say this for health and safety? I've put bubble wrap on the floor. Because there's two socket things that could be sharp, and I'm not prepared to risk it, because everybody else is in bare feet here. Now, because you started this off, you're going to do your most devastating moves on the pole here.
Oh, thanks.
So, I mean, is there a particular order that you go through things in, or do you just, is it all self-expression?
Well, you can just go with the flow, really. I'm very much a beginner, so it's usually a case of, where do I put my leg? What was that move again?
I've had honeymoons like that.
So I usually forget. I've got a memory like a sieve, so I usually forget the different moves. So I'm usually just asking what do I do now?
So this is the weird thing though, because if you're going through, and I can imagine that there's certain things, and we've had a lot of night owls who phone me who've suffered all kinds of different ailments. Mastectomy, I think, is probably the one that I'm likening this to, and they say, oh, I'm not feeling feminine since I've had the operation or whatever. I would imagine losing your hair is another one of those, makes you feel less than feminine, certainly less than sexy.
Yeah.
Was that part of the reason for you to get involved?
I think a lot of it with me was I was already off work suffering from depression, and then the hair fell out, so I kind of had like a double whammy with the depression and the hair, and then another bout of depression.
Had anything happened to cause that? Because you seem such a happy lass, and just sort of, what would get you down to that level?
It was family stress. My dad got ill, started chemotherapy, and it was just a particularly difficult time.
Yeah.
So
he was losing his hair probably too.
He didn't. He was on chemo and he didn't later. There was no justice. So I had to go and see the occupational health advisor at work, and she said, you know, you need to start getting yourself out, even though you're off sick, you still must get out of the house in order to get better.
Sure.
So she said, you know, take up some sort of hobby. She says, you know, what do you fancy doing? Some sort of Thai cookery? I said, no. And I said, oh, I used to dance in the past. And she said, well, what about salsa? Oh, I've already done that. It's all right.
Yeah.
So I went back home and just sat around, and then I just took it into my head one day that I was going to take up pole dancing. Probably not what the occupational therapist had in mind.
No.
When she said find a hobby. But I kind of do things to the extremes anyway. So
that's a good thing.
And that's how I got into it.
Fantastic. Okay, now I'm going to stand next to, she's not the boss instructor, but she's the next thing to the boss instructor, because the boss instructor's having a baby. And you're going to describe all the dynamic and amazing moves that you lot are going to be able to see on the webcam. I hope you got your webcam on, or you can actually go to our filmy bit.
Owl TV.
Owl TV on our website, and you'll see everything that's going on. So, good luck, Gail. I'm expecting great things.
Really being put on the spot now.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you brought the pole.
No, I didn't.
You could have popped in for a chat. But no, you brought a pole. So we go down on that pole.
Okay.
Right, tell me everything she's doing.
She's jumping on a pole.
Notice that.
Fly down.
I could slide down the pole.
Jump down, cross legs.
Oh, cross legs is a good thing. Okay.
Doing the stardom.
Stardom. Oh, fantastic. All right, it's good. Fantastic. Yeah, do you want to do any of the girls who are... Right, what is it that you're going to do then? As you stride forward voluntarily?
I'll do the corkscrew.
The corkscrew. I don't like corks, but the rest of it sounds good. Okay. All right, well. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's you just corkscrew around the floor. That's fantastic. So, what other moves are there that you teach people then?
Well, the figure 5, which is the cross leg spin, right leg hip spin, jump up, slide down, star jump, and fireman.
And the fireman?
Yeah.
What's the fireman?
Fireman.
Kelly's off to do the fireman. Like dancers do. Don't know what it is about fireman. That's very good. So, doing all of this, do you need to be really strong? Because you imagine just to hold onto a pole at any height and carry your own weight.
You build up your strength as you're doing it.
Right.
Each move, different muscles that you use.
Right.
You manage to build up and
Now,
ache the next day if you never do.
no, I can imagine. And how long would you do the whole thing for? How long would a routine be if you set one up?
The routine is normally about a full song.
A full song.
Each song.
And I mean, that doesn't sound long, because you think like 3, 4, 5 minutes tops.
Like you're doing all the in-between moves and things as well. Yeah. And all the pressure as well, trying to fit the routine in, doing it all at the right timing.
So, I mean, do you do display? I presume you do displays, do you? Or is this just when you get all the girls around and you do it for each other?
We do that as well, but we do competitions, and we did a tennis session at Belgium as well. We played the session at that.
Right.
In the gym at there. Also had a charity evening at Tiger where it's a ladies' night.
All right.
So I'm going to have a go.
And all the boys are pressing their noses up.
We actually got one of the barmen to get up and dance.